give something of value to another animal without getting something back yourself, either protection or ability to reproduce, like, an animal will give food and protection to his own family, so he's getting a trade-off, right? But to do it just for a good feeling, that doesn't exist in nature. And so here's the problem with being nice, right? They really do finish last. Okay, it's good to be nice to nice people. It's good to be nice in nice situations. It's terrible to be nice to bullies. And it's terrible to be nice when someone does not have your best interests at heart, and they're obviously trying to exploit you or poking you to see if you will fight back. Don't be nice to those people. They finish last. So the thing about, okay, let's say there's a pizza in the break room, and there's me and Joe is a nice guy, okay? Well, I could take more than my share of the pizza. I could just pile it on my plate. Joe's not going to say nothing. I'm just going to take it, and he's going to have one slice, and he's going to flavor it with, I wish I had more, right? That's why he finished last, because he's too nice to the rude person, which was me in this example. But reverse it. Let's say Joe had the pizza and I had no pizza at all, and I come up and say, "Hey Joe, can I have some pizza?" And he's nice. He's going to say, "Sure, here's some pizza." And in his mind he thinks, well, I was nice to Alex today, so tomorrow when Alex has pizza, he's going to give me some. No, because I'm not nice. And I'll say, "No, Joe, go get your own pizza." Because I'm not nice, you see. Now, in reality, I am nice to nice people, and I'm rude to rude people. And when someone bullies, I push back. Because there's no other way to do this. Because if you do it the way Joe did, you won't get much pizza. Okay? Okay. Bully behavior worked well, extremely well, for 4 billion years, okay? In fact, you used to be a single cell organism, okay? 4 billion years ago, your ancestors were pond scum, just single cell life forms, algae, you just sitting in the ocean. That was all that your ancestors were. And that algae started eating other forms of algae, and then they started adapting, okay? So the algae didn't want to be eaten anymore, so he developed fins and he could swim away now. And then, then this other fish learned to swim faster. Oh, this one grew big teeth. Well, this one started hunting in packs. So there's so many strategies in this endless arm race to avoid the bully. Because in nature, the bully will eat you. Eat you or kill you for territory. That's pretty much the game. And so the bully behavior that we see in humans originated 4 billion years ago. Life was beautiful when you were algae. You just sat in the sun and absorbed energy and eventually died. You reproduced, right? But there wasn't much else going on. And I think that the original sin was when the first animal ate another type of an animal, whether that was at the microscopic, bacteria stage. But that was when things got brutal, okay? Because before that, just everyone was plant life, right? Plants. We all can live together, just enjoying the sunlight and the rainy days, right? Sounds good, huh? And then we started eating each other. Cats eat the mouse. Coyote eats the cat. Everything. The hawk might eat the coyote. There is a hierarchy in nature, and it's all based on bully. Can I eat you, or can you eat me? That determines if you're above me or below me in the hierarchy. Okay. The shark bullied the dolphin, right? He ate the dolphin, right? Now, if you look at the shark and the dolphin, they are similar in size, right? But one evolved as a predator and one evolved as... And they say the dolphin's intelligent. He had no choice but to be intelligent to avoid the shark, right? That's his adaptation, was he learned to be intelligent and to not only anticipate where a shark would be, but to have a plan to get away safely. So the shark bullies the dolphin. And so this game of bullying has gone on for 4 billion years, okay? Okay. Some people are team players and some people are mavericks, right? Some people don't want to make any waves, and they don't like attention, and they don't like to make a scene. And if they have a problem, they want to keep it private, and they don't want it to be public, right? And so how does this play into your bully situation? Well, if the bully bullies you, let's say, he's starting with a poke, right? Hey, nice clothes. Does your mom dress you? Where'd you get? Hey, what's in your backpack? That's a good one, right? What's in your backpack? Because it's a poke. If you tell him what's in your backpack, the game has begun. You are his new victim, and he's going to go through your backpack. If he asks me what's in my backpack, I say, it's none of your business. Step off. You go, where? I was just asking that. Go ask somewhere else. Okay? See, he poked, and then the bear reacted. And that's the only way you should be acting, is none of this backpack or none of my... Step off. Step off. Get out of my face. Okay? And that's how you should. And then tomorrow, when he's looking for a victim, he's going to avoid me because I'm too difficult. But he's going to go to the person when he said, hey, what's in your backpack? And then you showed him what's in your backpack. Oh. Yeah, you're his Millhouse, okay? So bullies want an easy target. When I was a criminal, I would go through many commercial buildings, and I'm looking at the security, and I'm looking at the cameras, and I'm looking at the door of the building. How strong is the glass? And I'm looking at the equipment in the building, copy machines and computers and expensive stuff in the building, the merchandise. to decide whether I'm going to come back at night and burglarize it, right? So I want an easy target. I want a building that has poor security, has lots of valuable stuff in it, and is poorly protected, and is far away from police department, and that, I want an easy target. Okay? That's what I want. So you are like that building, okay? Do you have good security? Which means, do you know how to fight? Even a little bit? Do you stand up for yourself? Do you push back when the bully pokes? That is your security system. That's the strength of your door glass, and that matters. Okay. Now, what is in the store? What is in the commercial building that I wanted? Right? If you're exceptionally pretty, like you might be a female, you very beautiful girl, they're coming for you, and they're going to try to bully you and pressure you for sex, right? That's what is date rape, but a bully saying, hey, let me touch your breasts, right? That's a date rape, right? Or rape is definitely bully criminal behavior, right? So if you're exceptionally beautiful, you're going to have more than your share of pokes, where you better say, hey, not interested in what you're selling, go away. Carry pepper spray, but more importantly, know how to defend yourself physically and verbally. Okay? Bullies want an easy target. They don't really want to fight. My goal when I break into that building is not to get caught and to go away with some loot. So that's my goal, is to not fight, right? So the bully may act like he's want to fight, but his goal, if he wanted to fight, he would already just be punching you. He wouldn't be bullying you. So he wants an easy target, okay? He doesn't really want to fight, otherwise he would have just punched you in the face and started a fight, okay? Make yourself a difficult target, okay? Make yourself a difficult target. And then the bully will look for an easier target. That's the rules of this thing, okay? Because, the coyote has a choice. He could eat the rabbit, right? He could hunt the rabbit or the porcupine. The porcupine's out there. Oh, also the skunk. I want you to be the porcupine or the skunk, where the coyote sees them and says, I'm not that hungry. I'm not that hungry to mess with a porcupine or a skunk. But the rabbit, oh hell yeah. So make yourself a difficult target. Be a skunk where you fight back and you know how to spray. And make yourself a porcupine. What? I'm very prickly. I'm very prickly in prison. When someone asks me, hey Alex, can I have a soup? It just comes out like this. No. There's no explanation. No, I only have a few. No, I gotta save them for... I'm not explaining nothing. No. But sometimes I say that to a homie, right? Like, let's say I'm carrying my sack of commissary across the prison yard, and even a homie comes up, and he says, hey Alex, can I get a soup? I go, no. I go to my cell. I put my stuff away, and I lock my door so no one can get it. But I bring out 1 or 2 soups, and then I find my homie, because he's my homie. Remember homie? Did you watch the video on allies and homies? He's my homie, which means he would back me up in a fight. And I go, hey, here's the soups. Much love. You're my homie. You got this coming. The reason I said no was because if I would have opened my bag on the yard, 10 other fools would have came and asked me for soups. So here you go, homie. right? But we already talked about homies in detail on the other video, okay? Go watch that video and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Okay. Most bullies are weak and insecure, and if you stand up to them, willing to tango, they will usually back down, okay? Now, it's not universal rule. Some bullies are, right? But I remember when Bart Simpson stood up to Nelson, and and they fought. And there's many other situations where this guy stands up to the bully, and then the bully's like gets his butt kicked, or he doesn't want this. This is not what he signed up for, okay? Because he doesn't want to. He loses a lot if he gets whooped by a victim, by a target. Okay, he loses a lot. If the coyote loses a fight to the porcupine, he lost a lot. Okay, so that's why you're taking the self-defense class. That's why you're working out and doing your cardio, and you're staying fit enough to defend yourself. Because all of this, whatever society is doing, and I'm not going to make this a social commentary, but anything that you're doing that is not directly connected to your survival is wasted energy. If you are serious about your bully problem, everything you do should be about your survival. And that means at the minimum, eating good and healthy food, not overeating, not indulging in any weak behavior, anything that's like, I know grown men, adults in their 30s, and they collect Pokemon and they collect My Little Pony figurines. And if I ever wanted to bully someone, it would be them. Because what are you doing? You're a man and you're collecting children's toys? Yeah, you are a perfect victim for bullying, okay? So anything that's not connected to your survival is wasted energy. And at the minimum, if you stop collecting Pokemon, maybe you'll have more time in your routine to go take a self-defense class, okay? Okay, one thing I learned early in jail, okay, early in juvenile hall, okay, before I was even, when I was 12 years old, I learned this rule, okay? And this rule has served me well throughout my existence in the penal system, okay? If you fight your bully and lose, you still earned mad respect. Mad respect! It's okay to lose, but it's never okay to not fight back. Never. You are a target if you don't fight back. But if you fight and lose, so what, man? You're 0-3. Big deal. You're still in the game. You're still a boxer. You know, how many boxers have, 1 and 10? The point is this. It's okay to lose. It's not okay to surrender and give up and run. Okay? No. It's okay to lose. You're not going to lose your life, especially not if you listen to my advice and go take a self-defense class. I don't think you're going to lose. We're going to talk more about that real quick, okay? So I want you to remember this. If you fight your bully and lose, you still earned mad respect, okay? So the way you want to do this is you want your friends with you, and when the bully comes, and then you're going to say, hey, after school, I'm fed up with your stuff. After school, you and me, okay, And then your friends have to be there so that if you do lose, you might lose. Okay? Especially if you haven't practiced fighting at all or you're in bad shape, you might lose. But he's not going to kill you. Okay? And your friends are there so that when you're down, when you got hit, okay, they can say, hey, break it up, it's over, the fight's over. Okay? So the next day when you go to school, watch everyone see, they're not, you earned respect. When a football player plays a game of football and he loses, does the people just throw trash at him? No, it's just a game. There's another game tomorrow. You can win that one. Okay? So just don't lose all your games. Practice. Practice, practice. And that means take a self-defense class. Practice, right? Okay. So it's better to fight and lose than to not be willing to fight. Okay? If you get punched in the face, you go down, right? What happened? For your bully's not Mike Tyson, okay? Your bully's not going to break your nose or punch out your teeth or break your teeth. You're going to get a black eye, a bloody nose, a cut lip, okay? I mean, you're not fighting trained prize fighters, cage fighters, okay? And take that. It's better to take that and solve your bully problem. Imagine solving your bully problem with one punch. You fought, you lost, it's over. Isn't that great? That's great. The bully's going to find someone else to pick on, someone who won't fight back. And what if you get a good punch in? What if you actually, like I'm suggesting, take a self-defense class and win the fight? Wouldn't that be the best situation? Okay. Some bullies, especially girls, right? And females, co-workers that are female, okay? They're bullying other females, okay? And mean girls in high school. These types of bullies, they don't want conflict or confrontation. They look for a victim who just takes it and just keeps her head low and takes the insults and takes the abuse, right? And doesn't call them on it, okay? So for that type of a bully, you want to bring the conflict out into the open, okay? You should be direct and confront them on their behavior. So if that's you and you've been taking it for a while, tomorrow is the day to get up. When they bully you, you're just going to throw down your clipboard or just throw your lunch in the air and say, I've had it with you. Why do you talk? And confront them. And because I can promise you this, if they avoid conflict and they avoid confrontation and you bring them conflict and confrontation, they will back down and they'll retreat. They'll find someone easier to pick on. So that works especially with, I hate to say it, but with the female type of a bully, the female office bully, the female bully in high school, the mean girls is what they're called. It works well with them. Just stand up to them and say, hey, this ends now, okay? And so they're not going to continue because you stood up for yourself, okay? Okay. Bullies can be selfish, deceptive, sadistic, dishonest, cruel, and petty. And they can also be criminal, okay? So you never want to be nice to the bully. You want the bully to leave you alone. You never want to be their friend, or, the mean girls do that. The mean girls do this. They say, we're going to pick on you for a bit, and then maybe you can hang out with us but you're like on a probationary thing where they still treat you bad, but they call you a friend so that you'll put up with it. But you don't want to be friends with those types of people. I know in your mind some of you think, I'd rather be friends with my bully. That's why I'm being nice to them, and I'm giving them my lunch money, and I'm giving them things, and maybe they're going to be nice to me. No. And you don't want to be friends with bullies. So what you do want is to keep your own self-respect. Find better friends. Find better friends. Because those are not good friends. Okay, I think we have discussed this concept quite well. So I wish you the best of luck.